I don't want to see you. Let's go, Tony.
Cause it's like, nigga, we got one life. You can't, it ain't no redos. Nigga, this shit don't last 1,000 years. Most niggas live to what, 60, 70? That ain't a long time if you really think about it. Then by the time you start getting money and enjoying life, nigga, you done already lived 20% of your life. Then another 40% of your life, nigga, you gonna be old, so you ain't gonna really be able to do a lot of shit. So what do you really only get 40% of life to really just live and have fun for real, if you really think about it. Cause you gotta calculate the half of your life that you sleep. So if you 70, I ain't even gonna say half, cause don't nobody sleep 12 hours. But nigga, if you live to be 70, at least 25 of them years your ass sleep. So you really only living to be what, 45? That's you're alive. 10 of them years you a child, so 35. Then you gotta think about the broke years where you really don't get to move around and really be who you are for real, because you don't got the funds. So that's another 5-10 years. So nigga, you really only got a real 20 years to really live your life for real, if you think about it. So all that bullshit don't really be worth it at the end of the day. None of it. Any beef that exists ain't worth it. Any feud, any fucking relationship that was like y'all broke up over some bullshit, that shit wasn't worth it. Any fucking
I feel like I'm gonna be sick. I just like looked through my Walmart history and I found this like Walmart order from 2 years ago for the whole month worth of groceries. 45 items cost $126. A whole month of groceries just for me, basically. But I did notice this reorder all button, and I wanted to see how much it would cost now. Now, this order of 45 items for 1 month would have cost $414. That is 4 times more. How the fuck? How? Like, what?
Let me see those hands in the air. Hands on up. Everybody jump.
I project myself outside of myself and I talk to myself when I'm speaking.
Shout out to you. Shout out to your family. Shout out to your ancestors, your soul, your guides, all points in between. We here for another daily energy reading, man. We made it through another day. Out here being consistent, watching our diet. And even if we fucked up yesterday, today we got another day to make sure that we not eating bullshit. There's a little whimper. I guess y'all want to continue to eat the bullshit. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at y'all. Hi, guys. My name is the Hood Mystic, also known as Kyrie Anthony. I'm an author, astrologer, overall cool dude, here with another daily energy reading where we combine tarot, astrology, spirituality, and occultism, and just get a smorgasbord of information, find the string through it to get an overall concept of what we're going to be talking about. And today's concept is actually raising Kundalini. Yes. I see y'all excited about that, as I am as well. So we're going to be talking about Thursday, the aspects to Jupiter. And yeah, man, just have an overall show. I'm going to do something a little different with this show, have some clips to share to really get into the mode of how to raise Kundalini. So if you want some actual tips and tricks to really get into the science of raising Kundalini, make sure you stay tuned for the whole video where we get into Just 4 basic steps to raise Kundalini at its basic fundamentals. And what is Kundalini? Kundalini is the spiritual intelligence that exists within each and every one of us. In all cultures, they might call it a different name. Christians might say going to heaven, right? Things of that nature, but it is basically the same thing. Understanding that you are Christ consciousness, that you are God within, and this is not something that we just assume in our minds. This actually takes work. So we're going to get into the steps. Today is Thursday, also known as Jupiter Day. The aspect of the day will be Jupiter trine Pluto. Jupiter is in Taurus, Pluto is in Capricorn. So what we're expecting is real changes in our lives. So how did this look like in real life? You could be moving, new job, new business, new situation, new city, but everything new as we are preparing for an overall shift in where we stay, what we're doing, and overall how we're living. It's major. Like they say back in the early 2000s, it is a little flip, but best believe that I can do that. Shout out to my people down in H-Town that pick up the lingo. Today is the 27th. Like I said, it's Thursday. Who is Thor? Right? What does Jupiter represent? Well, these are what we call Nordic gods, and those aren't energies that have anything to do with us. So it's easy for us to say, yeah, ladies' night is Thursday. I need to go to this party on Thursday. It's much harder for us to say, why the fuck are we calling it Thursday? What is the purpose of it being Thursday? And so once we get into the nitty gritty of that, you see that is connected to the planet Jupiter. And when we understand Jupiter, Jupiter is an ancient sun. And so the sun and Jupiter could almost be synonymous. But when you think about it in relation to your body, the throat chakra and the solar plexus chakra are ruled interchangeably or respectively by the sun and Jupiter. And it makes a lot of sense. If you're going to project yourself into the world, you're going to have to use your voice. You're going to have a strong throat chakra when you say, I am going to radiate my natural solar energy. And we're not talking about the sun, we're talking about energy that is centered from the soul. So, this is going to be the topic today. And let us just look at, I want to explain how Jupiter is connected to Shango, and Shango is connected to our solar plexus chakra, and how that when we tap into this energy, there is no real limits of who and what we can be. And understand when we are talking about these energies, they're not related to men or women. They're related to spiritual concepts and qualities that we can evoke or even attract. So, how would I work with Jupiter or Shango on a Thursday if I was a woman? Would I want to invoke Shango? No, I would want to attract Shango. Even in your man's like scrawny, nerdy. You can say, Shango, fuck with him for a second. And, he'll come give you the best sex of your life, via the energy of your husband. And these are all things that are real and true. Even more so, maybe your man is the embodiment of Shango. So you can then explore different areas around this divine masculine, such as business acquisition, more money, um, more employees, more business opportunities. So you can wish for your divine masculine to express itself in his fullness, because this is the key to shit. Like, people might not understand this, but the person that you're in a relationship is in reference to the relationship that you're having with yourself. So if you don't like your partner, that's what you're creating within yourself. When we work with our divine masculine or our divine feminine, we're cultivating these energies within. And the more that you cultivate energies within, the outside world has no choice but to cave, but to acquiesce. So the difference between in like optimism and luck, which are symbols for Jupiter, but these aren't things that you would reference the external world as the conduit or the prerequisite for its occurrence. If I'm going to be optimistic, it's going to come from within me. I'm not going to be optimistic because I'm in a relationship with a girl and she's doing this one day or another day, because it could be 15 years down the line and she's a completely different person. So, in the mode of me being optimistic, is not me being realistic about external things. Optimism is in the face of adversity, I'm still going to keep my cool. I'm still going to be in a space where everything is everything. But I feel that the spiritual talent, if you could sit back and be able to think and reflect on this, stop judging your partner, start creating your ideal partner within. The external world has no choice but to break. It cannot resolve you creating a financial structure within your being of demand, of like facts, versus I wish I could find somebody that loved me, and then, oh, he's that or she's that, she's this, she's that. That is counterintuitive to magical, actual spiritual relationships. If you want a more foundational source, you would probably have to sign up for the Serious Times Patreon. It's like $9 a month. You can just get it for one time, but this is how you can watch the video. Bobby Hemmett, Babylonia. It might be Babylonia too, where he's sitting there and he gets into the science of relationships, and is profound, but it's actually true. Every relationship is always a creation of your inner masculine or your inner feminine, depending on if you are masculine or feminine. So it's like working on Thursdays or working with the energy of Jupiter is a very spiritual, very ritualistic, very magical energy that a practitioner can simply work with the Jupiter sigil. And the more that you work with the Jupiter sigil, and I'll show you what it is. It's nothing real major, but this symbol right here, make sure y'all can see it. This sigil right here is the Jupiter sigil. It's actually the number 4, right? But at this, like the number 4 is Jupiter, but the number 4 is a spirit. It's not actually a number, because there's only one number, and that's 1. The other numbers are all like demonic entities that we are, programmed to worship. uh at school, they program us with the numeric demons, and so we are obsessed with these numbers and getting these numbers. But the reality is that, like, you could be um a world renowned pianist, and be hired on an orchestra and you guys would do a tour every year for 50 years, and that money would just you would just be making so much money because you are a classically trained pianist and you never even cared about it. All you did, you just loved playing the piano, and people saying encore, encore, encore. You just fuck it up a little bit more and then walk off, give them a double bow. You know what I'm saying? And then go into the restaurant and eat a steak sandwich. Like that was your routine. You would be a millionaire, billionaire. But if you broke, you probably are under the demonic possession of numbers. So when you start to and I'm talking about like working, you always checking your bank account. What is those bank accounts? That bank account is numbers, but it's not representing anything but an emotional secretion of hormones that then the demonic entities feed off of. So if you are a sad person, then this means that demonic entities feed off of the hormones that you secrete being a sad person. So people don't really want to address that and deal with that. So they will stay in a state of consciousness, such as sadness or depression, and these demonic entities just consistently feed off of you, and understand that these are energetic entities. They are not like people, flesh and blood people like me and you. But you got to always ask yourself, why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why am I depressed? And if it's something that is like consistent and you can't really track it or gauge it, I would say you need to start exercising the entities around you by creating a mode of burning herbs, saging, parasite cleanses, and also being aware of your emotional state, right? When you are aware of your emotional state and you raise your emotional state, those lower demonic energetic entities, they no longer can actually function in your reality. So if you've been in this thing for a long time, maybe a year or two, and y'all can put a one in the chat if this have ever happened to you, where you was so heartbroken over a person, you started doing some meditation, some spiritual work, and now you reflect on it like, why did I ever even why was I even feeling this way over this bug? Right? I was in love with an actual bug. What was wrong with me? Have that ever happened to you? Put a one in the chat if that ever happened to you. You reflect on the time like, what the fuck was I even thinking about? You start looking at them, they jeans is extra baggy and dingy. They shoes is extra dirty. You like, what the hell? This was the person I was talking about I was in love with? Oh my fucking fuck. See, that's demonic possession. And a lot of times entities feed off of you through relationships. They real nice at the beginning, and then it get to a certain point where everything they must do is make you feel a certain type of way. That's allowing them to feed off of you at an energetic level. What you don't see is their tentacles peering into your third eye, sucking out your melanin, and you feel bad. What you'll notice when you're in these particular relationships is that when you feel bad, they feel good. When you feel good, they feel bad. One's in the chat if you ever experience anything like that. And so what I'm saying is when you talk about Jupiter, you're talking about magic, you're talking about witchcraft, because when you talk about the planetary consciousness, if we're going to like scale it up, the moon is a person's feelings. The sun is a person's expressions. The Mars is a person's actions. Venus is a person's love. Jupiter is a person's expansion. And you're going to expand in a very magical way. You're going like you're magically going to expand. So you should make Thursday a day centered in some form of expansionist concepts like a ritual or magic or I don't know, a seance. I don't know how, whatever your bag is, a spiritual bath, a walk in the park, whatever, get your groove on. And then if you want like a sigil to work with, like this is an actual live sigil that will then begin to reflect back to you. Like when you start working with this sigil, like I literally met somebody like, yeah, my name's Jupiter. Like, what the hell? You'll start seeing it on license plates. But see, I wouldn't say necessarily, I don't never, I guess, whatever the case may be. I wasn't in the situation that I am in today. I was in a much dire situation, and then the sigil had showed up, and we just started like painting it and meditating on it. And of course, it'll expand your business, it'll expand your finances, but a lot of times people will just kind of say it, but then it's like, yeah, just talking about it ain't really doing the magic. Actually doing and working with the sigil, understanding the concept, you'll be able to get the benefits of Jupiter on Jupiter's day. Because the deaf, dumb, and blind version is, oh, it's Thursday, I gotta go to work. That's when you're not conscious. But if you say, it's Thursday, let me do some magic, because why is we bear witness into Thursday so much throughout the history of life? If these days don't mean things specifically. And we love to say that we are the chosen people, but we don't never want to celebrate Sabbath. But there are Jewish people to this day that do different things on Saturday than they do on Friday. Each day within a Jewish person's, Orthodox Jewish person's life is structured in reference to the days and the planetary observances and the overall actions of the individual. Think about it. We live in this world with all of this technology, and Saturday is no different from Wednesday nowadays, right? You, how many times, one's in the chat, if you like don't know the difference between Tuesday and Thursday, it's just a day to you. And if that's the case, that's lockdown, right? That's the version of lockdown that they really trying to put on to the people. So once again, we're looking at Jupiter in Taurus, Trine in Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, and Taurus and Capricorn are earth signs. So we're looking at real incorporation of the energy. So Jupiter in Taurus, which will be connected to the throat chakra, but Jupiter is the solar plexus. So we're looking at expansion of who we are and who we represent in this life. And we're dealing with Pluto. So that means that if the person that we are today should be a completely different person 10, 15, 20 years from now. And this could be the catalyst. This is major shifts and transformations in how you identify yourself, how you speak up for yourself, how you represent yourself. And it's coming in life with that energy, right? And it's like that I am somebody type of energy that you must carry throughout the day that will eventually lead to the longer transformation, which is Pluto and Capricorn. So the Sabian symbol associated with Jupiter is 13 degrees. And 13 degrees talks about material acquisition. So this got me into wanting to figure out a way to have a conversation about how a simple way to acquire what you need out of life. And that's where I got the title Raising Kundalini. However, raising Kundalini is hard because there are emotional barriers. So that's where I want to center this conversation on how to raise Kundalini naturally through dealing with the emotional barriers that we face so we could acquire as much materials as we need to live a good life. Because I'm not one of those spiritual people that don't believe that you should be out in the forest but naked to call yourself spiritual. I believe that if you want a nice car, you should have a nice car. If you want a nice house, you should have a nice house. But is there a way to do it spiritually that doesn't require me to work two jobs, spend millions of years away from my kids, and sell my soul to actually have it? Or is there a magical consciousness? So this is what I've actually been wrestling with and trying to come to grips with within my meditation and my learning, but also sharing that with people. So the conversation is improving our lot in life. The involvement with society's availability of material abundance inevitably attracts heavy responsibility and the habit of gain and acquisitiveness. These are the qualities of the material world, and they make demands upon us. So, there's two things that I'm going to talk about. One is emotions, and then the next is 4 steps to raising Kundalini. And I'm saying that just in case you want to take notes, because this is a stream of consciousness. This is taken from esoteric, let me not lie. How can I just find the title of the book? Let's see. Okay. The Chakras in Esoteric Healing by Zachary Lansdowne. And we're just centering in emotions and the solar plexus chakra because we're dealing with Jupiter, Thursday, all in alignment. So, in reference to you, the person that's listening, like, what is this nigga talking about? How do you express yourself? Is it natural and good? Are you comfortable with just going to places, opening up, letting people know who you are? Or do you feel shut down, not really confident in yourself? You've had bad experiences in the past and you don't really know yourself because you're not fully in the mode of your highly vibrative solar plexus chakra, right? So this is the work that needs to be done, because what tends to happen is if you don't do this solar plexus work, you'll just shut down. You'll just live a life where you don't know who you are and you just paying the bills and you just going to and fro, and it's going to bother you if you are meant for more. And that's really the question that, me doing readings for all of these years, I can say that unequivocally, like with 100%, if people are feeling a certain type of way, that's because that their soul wants more for them. And the reason that I know that, because I was comfortable and content with my CDLs driving trucks, pulling over at the rest stop, seeing where the hoes at. I was comfortable getting me nachos and baconators, at Wendy's with some sour cream cheese dip. I was fine. Bring it home $2,000, $2,500 a week. Nothing more to see here. I figured life out. I am a truck driver. And my soul was like, no, that's not what we are supposed to do. That is not what we are supposed to do. We not just supposed to be a truck driver, but I'm making $2,000 a week though. It's Gucci. It's Gucci, like Gucci man. Like, it's good money. You have a purpose though. Oh. So yeah, it's always going to hit you where you think you got to figure it out. And then the reality comes where there's more for your life, and how big are you on putting out that mixtape, shooting a video, starting a YouTube channel, writing a book, being a content creator, starting a business, like running a business, being in a relationship, being in a poly relationship, like doing all of these things that is in your heart to do. And this is how you want to express yourself. But then it's like, well, what is other people going to say about me? Type of deal. So these are emotions, and emotions are the boundary to Kundalini. And that can't be said enough. It cannot be overlooked. It cannot be pushed to the side because they are going to sabotage anything that you try to build if you don't begin to do alchemy on how you feel, because how you feel is not real if you don't feel that you can just walk into a room and own it. It's not real if you don't think that you are highly attractive and magnetic. You know that you can have more than you desire, that you can have that relationship, that you can have the nice, you can have whatever you want. If you don't actually feel that, like feel it in your solar plexus, it's not a subconscious belief. Shout out to SAU. We were doing a shadow work course yesterday and we were addressing core beliefs. A core belief is what you actually need to tackle and deal with, because that core belief, you will see it running your life. If you've been broke for a long time and you've been scheming, plotting and scheming, trying to make some money, and you still haven't got no motion, and it's been 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, and you desperately need some money, you homeless and can't figure it out, and you need to grab some motion about yourself, well, then it's time to do some solar plexus. It's time to do some solar plexus work. It's time to shift the energy. The open solar plexus chakra also enables the person to register lower emotions from the emotional plane. The adjective lower signifies that these emotions are associated with personal relationships and could be positive and negative in nature, right? So when you think about your girlfriend or your boyfriend, this is a personal relationship. And if it's not a positive relationship, let's just keep it honest and true, then it's not in relation to your spiritual work. There is no reason that you need to be in a toxic relationship for any reason whatsoever, because the actual reality of a love relationship is so positive, you're going to feel like a dumbass for putting up with it for so long. If you ever get out of it. Because the reasons that you're staying are negative emotions. So negative emotions, anger, fear, and desire. Anger, fear, and desire is not wisdom. I'm not going to go out because I don't look good. That's not wisdom. I'm not going to go to the psychic fair because I'm afraid that I'm not going to get any sales. That's not wisdom. That's not smart. I'm not going to go to the event because it's not going to be any guys there. That's not wisdom. You did this to me, so I have the right to feel this. That's not wisdom. That is lower emotions that will register in the lower emotional realm, where you're telling your friends, yeah, girl, he did this, he did what, he did what? Girl, we about to we about to beat his ass. Like, we about to bust his windows out. Like, all personal relationships. So once again, when you're raising Kundalini, you got to get into your spiritual relationships with yourself. And these represent the higher emotions. So your soul will love you unconditionally. Once you realize that your soul loves you unconditionally, it's easier for you to love everybody else unconditionally, even if it's loving. Like, see, when you begin to open up your heart chakra, that don't mean that your significant other is going to be like, wow, you're emitting such beautiful rays of love light that I'm now entranced by your beauty. No, it's not that. It's you're strong enough to say, okay, I need to love you from a distance because I know the love that I have for you and it's not being reciprocated. You could be feeling good within yourself and your girl is upset and sad, or your boyfriend is upset and upset, and you doing this spiritual work and you trying to raise your vibration and they pulling their hair out, throwing pictures of knocking pictures off the wall, right? That's that little trail. Y'all know nothing about that. Shout out to the H-Town. I'm feeling this strong H-Town energy. Who watching me from Houston? Knocking pictures off the wall. Anyways, you raising your vibration and it's getting them mad. So then, see, in your lower vibration, you are reflective of their actions. You're like, if they're mad, I must be doing something wrong. Let me do something different. Let me do something else. And it might work for a day or two, but it will revert back to toxic behavior. When you raise to your heart chakra and you like, man, I feel good, I'm happy. And they sad, you like, damn, babe, that sucks for you. But I'm not about to lower my vibration. You could do this work or don't do the work. It's fine. But I'm gonna stay in this energy flow because it feels good. My soul loves me unconditionally. Your soul loves you unconditionally. May you find it one day, right? And you will stay in this higher energy and not stooping down to people's level. And there's so much that we can talk about in reference to raising Kundalini, doing solar plexus work, yellow magic, working with the ego, making the ego more malleable and changeable so you could alter it and show up differently. This is all solar plexus work. And it is possible, but you actually have to see it for yourself and actually grow exponentially, which also means you need to show up today and just fuck. You need to show up today looking crazy as hell because that's how you look today. But then look, my first videos, I still look crazy, but oh shit, man. But I didn't give a fuck. I did it anyway. So that's more of the faith aspect. So let's get into the 4 steps to raising Kundalini. And the first thing that we're going to address is within a video where we're talking about emotional baggage, and we're going to break it down a little further because these are things that you can't avoid.
5 signs you might be dealing with an energy.
Avoid making this mistake if you want your relationship to last. Emotional dumping is what happens when you start to open up and you start to be vulnerable, but you don't know how to process all of the feelings that you're feeling, so you just dump everything on the other person. You may think that this is the right thing to do. You may think that this is how you build a strong relationship and a connection, but sometimes your emotions are too much for your partner to hear. And when you get into the rhythm of opening up and you get into the rhythm of sharing, you have to understand that there's a specificity of how you're feeling doesn't necessarily correlate with how much you talk or express your feelings. Your emotions and your feelings can be concise. And if there's any habit that you should be picking up on when it comes to communicating how you're feeling about yourself, about situations, about your relationship, when you express this to a partner, you want to be very specific and intentional with what you're saying. And the best way to do this is to actually feel your feelings, to talk it out, go to therapy, get a coach, work these things out before you bring it to the table with your partner, because your partner is there to live and share a life with you. There's an interdependence that comes with being in a relationship. But a relationship is not taking on all of the emotional baggage and to sit and receive what I refer to as emotional dumping. And you shouldn't assume that if you go down the road of emotional dumping, that your partner is going to be a willing participant. So clean slate, feel your feelings, process them, write it out, sit with them for a little bit, Then when you have a true sense of how you're feeling, then bring it to your partner. That's how you avoid the emotional dumping.
So once again, shout out SAU. Yesterday we were like, I was lecturing and teaching about surrounding yourself, immersing yourself in how you feel, right? Instead of acknowledging how you feel through action and feeling. Because if you begin to examine how you feel, another thing that Zachary Lansdowne teaches is that our emotions are not real. But if we are following our emotions and we believe in our emotions and we are just holding on to our emotions, then they're real to us. But our emotions are not real because we can't go to McDonald's and say, my boyfriend just cheated on me. He's a piece of shit. Can I get a double cheeseburger? They're gonna be like 15.99, man. I mean, you like, damn, that's expensive for a double cheeseburger. But I was trying to pay with my pain. Cause you telling me that your pain is real, and I'm saying let's go buy some double cheeseburgers with it. What is the value of your pain? So the first step to raising Kundalini is addressing your emotional baggage. In chapter 2 of Chakra Nova, oh man, that was a shameless ass plug. I ain't mean to be so shameless with the plug, but I did it anyways. Somebody gotta stop me.
I project myself outside of myself and I talk to myself when I'm speaking.
Get the Hood Mystic Big Book. I said the Hood Mystic Big Bundle. What is it? So many different range of lighters to light your blunts. The Hood Mystic Big Bundle coming soon. No, but the Hood Mystic Book Bundle has Chakra Nova, the Chakra Nova Journal, where you could begin to look at the labeling and the addressing of said emotions. And also, Spiritual Being Having a Human Experience has a chapter called Chakra Astrology, where we connect all of the chakras to the planets. If you want to tap into that as well to get a more robust. I even got the book PDF file. I was looking at it today. Show y'all some of the chapters dealing with some sidereal astrology, explaining that and just documenting a lot of stuff. So, chakra astrology, chakras, raising Kundalini, giving you all of the science behind that, but then also connecting Jupiter to the solar plexus and then Venus to the heart chakra, so forth and so on, just to give people that deeper knowledge. So, back to raising Kundalini. The next step is identifying energetic vampires, but then also identifying you being the root to the energetic vampire by staying in a low frequency. Your mama and your family, your daddy, whoever is pulling you down, want you to stay in that lower frequency because they are possessed by lower entities and they easily can get to you through your emotions. Because you love your partner so much, and they sleep in your same bed, you do all the same things with them, but yet and still, if you told them who you was, the true you, they would argue with you, shame you, make you feel bad, right? So it's like, yeah, I love you, but you can't be your true self. So these are things that represent psychic vampires. So here goes a quick video explaining this, and we'll continue on with the build.
5 signs you might be dealing with an energy vampire. But what's an energy vampire? An energy vampire is a toxic person who drains you of your emotional energy. And here's how you can spot one. Number 5, they don't take any accountability. This is the person who always blames everyone else for their problem. Nothing is ever their fault. And they always have an excuse for something. Number 4, they're always involved in drama. They love to gossip and tell you about their drama in hopes that you will fix it. Number 3, they always one-up you. It doesn't matter how good your news is. They won't celebrate your success. Instead, they'll try to shift the focus back onto them. 2, they diminish your problems and highlight their own. This one is draining. You can never go to an energy vampire to talk about your feelings or something you're going through, because chances are they're going through something worse. Number 1, they guilt trip you, criticize you, and make passive-aggressive remarks. This is pretty self-explanatory. Follow and like for more.
What's up? No, I'm almost done with the video. Don't make a mess. I said don't make a mess. Yeah, you can make it. So, when we are understanding our path and we are understanding that we want more, we have to begin to understand that it's going to be people that stand in your way. And through the modality of love, these particular things will keep us connected to energy vampires. And, I'm not talking about excommunicating your family, but we're just bringing it into the themes of Jupiter, where you can have a day to yourself. That's not a crime. Uh, as far as like thinking about what you want for yourself, meditating, doing a ritual, you probably can't do that with everybody in your family or everybody that you love, but you can do that unto yourself. And it's going to be your luck that then plays out. It's luck when somebody does a word of mouth in reference to, hey, I know this place called White Rabbit Psychedelics. Yeah, you should check them out. Give them the website. And yeah, I got my number from such and such, man. I want to, shop with you. All right, bet. That's luck, but that's in behind me doing countless and countless of rituals. Brandon said, I tell people to stop telling me their problems because I didn't have a clear boundary not to soak up someone else's emotions. And this is why you got to be in a happy, in a peaceful, blissful relationship. And you got to actually choose the people that you with, because you going to get somebody that's probably going to feel comfortable with feeling bad around you because you love them. And the whole time y'all just being absorbed by demonic entities and keeping you in lockdown, making sure y'all both working jobs that y'all hate, and y'all hate the jobs, hate each other, right? No boundaries. And it's just, it's just water. You know what I mean? Love is water. Love has to be encased in a pool or some form of land for it to have some form of control, some form of boundary. Nobody would want to live in a completely water world. So your relationships, and I'm talking about not even boyfriend, girlfriend, romantic. I'm talking about the relationship with your parents, when you call them and they start telling you all the shit that's wrong with them, and you was telling them about what herbs to take and what diets to do, and they was like, no, I'm gonna eat my hog maws, baby. You go ahead with that old foolishness. And you like, okay, ma, okay, grandma, and then come back, you call them, yeah, I got diabetes. They're giving me 18 different type of pills to take. Can you believe that? Yeah, mama, that's why I told you to start changing your diet. But I can't tell you to do nothing like that. So it's like that boundary needs to be established. Because I promise you, you are not going to be able to solve people's problems. And so another thing that helped me raise Kundalini is making my own music and listening to it. the ways of the world now, anybody can make music, anybody can buy a keyboard. You can use your actual keyboard on your computer to just put sounds and tones together that sound good to you, that feel good to you, and listening to it. Meditating off the sound of your voice before you go to sleep, programming your subconscious mind. These are things that are going to raise your kundalini because it is you that needs to listen to you. And when I had my experience, I was listening to music that I had made, listening to my voice and sounds that vibrated to a frequency that resonated with my soul. So you might not feel like you talented to even make music, but anybody, for lack of a better words, can download beats off of YouTube. You can even watch tutorials on YouTube for free and just get the basics, right? How to make beats as a beginner on Fruity Loops or Reason. And you can make like making beats or making music, whatever your style, whatever your sound, you can cultivate that within yourself. It's not as hard as it seems, even if you don't have no rhythm, even if you're not musical. These are the things that are within you because everything is music. Everything is music. Everything within your soul just vibrates frequencies, sounds, and tones. That is music. Music is just different sounds in a syncopated rhythmic format. If you can talk, you can make music, okay? You just might not ever tried. And your trouble is going to be trying to find a perfect binaural beat on YouTube, and they layering it with all types of weird demonic chants and weird shit that you didn't upload that onto YouTube. And you meditate into it, cool, but at the same time, is it actually helping you? And the reality is, you should be able to create your own sounds, your own energies, and this will help you raise Kundalini. Finally, take herbs every day, drink tea every day, take your herbal supplements every single day. So the difference between medicine and herbs is that medicine is synthesized herbs times 10, times 50, even sometimes times 100, right? So a pill is much more powerful than the herb, even though it is the same thing. But God didn't intend for it to be that way. That's why every pill has a side effect. Okay. Every pill you take have a side effect because God did not mean for that medicine to be synthesized in that way. God meant for you to take the medicine every single day as a preventative precaution for what might could happen. So you begin to coat your cells with the oils of the herbs and begin to elucidate and recreate the spiritual condition of plant life realities through the intake of herbs every day. See, when we talk about spirituality, the truth of the matter that is no shortcuts. There is no reading that's going to say, all right, you do this, you do that, and you don't have to take herbs every day. Nobody's going to live outside of that paradigm. You do this and do that. Oh yeah, I got a reading. You going we was at the psychic fair this weekend and the girl came to our table, was like, I just got a great reading. I was like, what'd she say? She said, I'm gonna meet a guy with a 14-inch cock next week. Mind you, this girl's already married. I'm like, wow, congratulations. Like, what the fuck is people even talking about? Right? So yeah, once you meet the guy with that 14-incher, you don't need to meditate no longer, basically, is what people is out here saying and believing. I'm under the belief that you have to diet, you have to exercise, you have to meditate, you have to do these things. You can't be a bitch about it. You can't be like, man, I got too much to do. I got diabetes, I got low energy, I got fatigue. Another conversation tomorrow, we're going to be talking about PCOS because I've heard it. I just never dive deep into it. But PCOS is basically testosterone in the ovaries that creates, the syndrome in our women. And the women work so hard trying to, take care of their family. And this is actually killing the women. And it's like at a deep womb level. So we got to invite relaxation and calming down and really balancing the womb and the consciousness to get some real connection. Because get a reading, join a course, but your ass working 5 days a week to pay the bills, none of that shit's gonna help you because you still going once the course is over, once the retreat is over, and you gonna come back home and you back to working 5 days a week, your ovaries is still producing testosterone. So what's going to happen when you 50 or 60 and you still got to work, or even 40? They're going to take your uterus out so you can continue to work. It's a dirty game, So if you're a young woman and you working really hard, chill on that. Real talk. Real talk. But we'll talk about more on that tomorrow when we talk about Venus. And that has been another edition of Hood in the Morning Daily Energy Reading. Just want to play my song. Garage Band. Garage Band is in your phone. If you got an iPhone, you got Garage Band, you can start playing around with it. YouTube tutorial, how to use GarageBand. If you got an iPhone, you got GarageBand, you can make a beat, make a song, or you can watch Steve Lacy TED Talks for some inspo. Yeah, man, I said that I was going to clean up today, so I'm going to be honest to my words. I was going to do a quick video and clean up. So I feel like this is that quick video. Now it's time to get I want the energy to be fresh in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Bring the bleach out, bring the lemon out, boil some herbs, some peppermint, some cinnamon, add it to the mop water. Like I'm on that type of energy today. Time to get into my real ritual magical bag. But this has been another edition of the Daily Energy Reading. Want to thank y'all for tapping in with me. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Let me see those hands in the air. Hands on up. Everybody jump.
How am I supposed to work with this sigil? You work with the sigil by staring at it. Like if you could sit in front of your phone or print it on your laptop screen and just, meditate on it. Maybe some African tribal drums or your favorite song, even listening to that, calming your body down, calming your mind down, and just relaxing. Like you can do this with any sigil, anything, any symbol. Just stare at it and clear your mind and let it, feel your pineal gland start to vibrate and just activate the consciousness within you. And what you're going to notice is that things going to work out better for you naturally, easily, and magically. Tap in the Garage Band, download that. My man said, emotion is real. Go buy a double cheeseburger with it. Yeah, man. Y'all wildin'.
Let me see those hands in the air. Hands on up. Everybody jump.
Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. You are traveling with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now.